Creating the X adaptive controller required the Microsoft Devices team to re-examine their own practices and ultimately challenge their biases and assumptions to embrace more inclusive design. In this talk from DD 2019, Bryce Johnson, Incorporated Roosevelt, Microsoft Devices, and Aaron Mustafish, occupational therapist, Creed Hospital, discuss the process of designing the X adaptive controller and how doing so required them to rethink how they designed and engineered controllers altogether. The talk offers game developers advice on how to apply those same principles to their own projects, like how to recognize when a design excludes people with limited mobility, and how to design control schemes and input with accessibility in mind. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events, and the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all access passes to recent events, like DD, would already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via the DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office, accompanied by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault Group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. The chief executive officers of two major video game companies have found their way onto SUSO's 2019 report on the 100 most overpaid CEOs. The report that uses pay data to call out pay disparities in publicly traded American companies. Both Electronic Arts, Andrew Wilson, and Activision Blizzard's Bobby Kotick have earned spots on this year's list, along with the likes of Walt Disney's Bob Iger, Netflix's Reed Hastings, and 96 other high-earning execs. This all comes just a week after Activision Blizzard announced that it would lay off an estimated 800 employees following the close of a record year. SUSO takes more than a CEO's yearly earnings into account when ranking its list, something detailed in full in the full report. In short, the organization looks at factors like total shareholder return and votes against CEO pay packages to calculate the chief exec's earning in excess. The methods for calculating that exact excess can be found in appendix in the full report as well. Following that methodology, the group clocked Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick as number 45 on that ranked list of the most overpaid CEOs. By SUSO's data, Kotick is paid $28.
698
$375, an excess of $12.
835
$277 by the organization's estimates. The ratio of Kotick's pay compared to median worker pay at Activision Blizzard is 301. The median pay ratio for SP 500 companies is 142. While the median pay ratio for the 100 members of SUSO's list is 300. Electronic Arts, Andrew Wilson, meanwhile, is ranked a bit lower on the list as number 98. His yearly take is $35.
728
$764, an estimated excess of $19.
673
$861 as determined by the report, a paycheck that was supported by 97% of shareholders' votes. Though median pay ratio was not used as a metric for ranking those high-earning CEOs, the difference between Wilson's own pay and that of the medium electronic arts employer is greater than Cortex. As your son records that ratio as 371. 1. The gap between median worker pay and CEO pay has ballooned in just the past several decades, as explained in the following quote captured by Axios. If you look at the pay of top CEOs relative to workers, that ratio in the 1950s was 20-1, was about 30-1 by the late 70s, and by the mid-1990s it was 120-1, said Robert Reich, former Labor Secretary for President Bill Clinton, during a recent call with Axios and other reporters. When I was working in the White House, that was a cause of real concern. That ratio seemed appalling to most people. Now it's 300-1. Observation is coming to PC and PS4 on May 21st, but with a slight change in plans. The game previously had a Steam stoppage, implying it would release on that platform and other PC marketplaces, before developer confirmed earlier today that the game will be exclusive to the Epic Game Store for 1 year. This exclusivity deal comes shortly after Epic ramped up its efforts to compete with Steam and other storefronts by convincing developers to publish first on the Epic Game Store. Studios like Remedy Entertainment, Control, and Heart Machine, Solar Edge are among the studios already committed to launching their upcoming PC games as Epic Game Store exclusives, at least initially. As of right now, it's unclear whether Observation will launch on other PC storefronts or other consoles after 1 year. Things are starting to feel crowded as more and more companies try to pitch their Netflix for games, cloud-based streaming services. But Microsoft says the experience it's gained through its X branch gives it a potential leg up on the competition. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella spoke to Business Insider and other publications earlier this week on the subject of the game streaming service, Project Cloud. The company announced late last year, saying that both its X dealings and its growing list of Microsoft-owned unpublished games, Pi Project, in a strong position. We have a structural position in that we have both a console business as well as a PC business, which happens to be bigger than the console business when it comes to gaming, he said. As mentioned by Business Insider, Nadella also called out his experience with X-Live and the company's history of synergy between its Windows and X video game branches, through things like its X Play Anywhere program. We have as much a shot to build a subscription service as anybody else. Microsoft's Project Cloud aims to, like many others in the cloud-based game service space, let people play video games on demand from a variety of platforms, while the actual game is being hosted on a remote machine. The goal is to launch the service with the capability to stream games on 4G networks, ideally opening PC and X1 only games up to players that primarily use mobile phones to play games. Other companies have dabbled in the same kinds of projects, with Google notably testing its Project Stream service that can stream AAA games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey through a Google Chrome browser window. Verizon and Amazon are also rumored to have their own game streaming services in the works, though official details on both are still scarce. Funcom released the financial report for its fourth quarter earlier today, saying that it was the most profitable year in the company's history. According to the report, revenues for the fourth quarter increased by 166% versus the same period last year, and that revenues for 2018 increased by 46% to $33.6 $776 compared to 2017. Cash flow from operating activities for the quarter increased by 41% as well. CEO Rui Kasei attributes the growth to successful launches of GNOME Exilus and Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, which he says established Funcom as a reputable publisher of third-party games. In addition to releasing its financials, Funcom also announced that it had entered an exclusive partnership with WITHLAGE and UAY Entertainment to create games based on the United Nations intellectual property. As detailed in a separate statement, Funcom says that the legendary partnership is a 6-year deal for a minimum of 3D United Nations games on PS and consoles. One of them will supposedly be an open-world multiplayer title slated to enter pre-production at Funcom's Oslo studio in late 2019. Amazon is reportedly developing its own cloud-based streaming service that would allow players to download and play games by streaming them through the internet. A few sources in the know spoke to the information about Amazon's plans to join the ranks of Microsoft and Google by developing its own game streaming service. Although it seems the service will not be available until 2020, the company is supposedly already reaching out to publishers and developers about possible Gamasutra would be distributed as a part of the service. Amazon offers streamed gaming to some extent with Twitch Prime, where Prime users receive free games every month. But this reported streaming service will be a separate entity. The Verge was able to track down some Amazon job listings to corroborate the report, where the company is currently hiring at least 10 engineers in Seattle and California specifically to work on cloud games, with a third post saying that Amazon has a no game business planned.